Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. And if you're new here, sit back, relax and enjoy the show. Because tonight we're going to do a huge unhaul. Yeah, that's right. Got to part with all these books. Say goodbye. Bye bye. Stay tuned. Okay everyone, so you can't see all the books next to me here. But yeah, there's over 40. And I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to divide it into 3 different parts for this particular show. But first of all, why am I getting rid of all these books? Well, I'm making space, people, for books that I want to read. For books that I want to read over the coming months, over the coming years. And these are books that I'm not going to read. And some of them I've been hoarding, thinking, maybe in the future I might just be in the mood to pick up Men's Adventure or something else. And yeah, that hasn't happened. We've been here we've been here about 3 years, and yeah, it's not going to happen. So I'm getting rid of this, and I'm going to make space for books that I want to read and review for you, for all of you in future. I'm going to basically do some hauls in future, and I'm going to restructure everything. I'm going to give you another bookshelf tour, and I should just make it look really nice. Maybe organize it by genre, mostly horror, and just have authors together. Just do something really, really easy, really special. So yeah, let's get going. Oh, and another point before we start the unhaul is that these books are going to our local SPCA, and they're always thrilled to get new books. And yeah, let's hope they find a happy family. So yeah, I'm going to start with fantasy. I have started reading more fantasy, but these are books that I'm not going to read again. Some of them I read in my teens, some of them are very YA. In some cases I got like parts of a complete set, because maybe the rest was like lost when we moved, or I had to donate some of them. So yeah, okay, so let's start off with David Eddings. I've got 3 books here by David Eddings. A book I read when I was a teen, all the series, Milorian, Bulgariad, and yeah, I'm getting rid of them. So they're going in the box. And then we got a whole series here, very YA series. I enjoyed it when I was in my 20s maybe, and it was fun, but I'm not going to read it again. That's Anthony Horowitz, Oblivion, and yeah, I'm not sure what the series is called. Evil Star, actually pretty good books, so I would recommend them. But yeah, I don't have time to read them. And that's, yeah, Necropolis. And we got Night Rise. Yeah. That's actually quite a fun series, but there's no way I'm going to be reading him again. No. Let's say goodbye. Okay. And then we got, yeah, actually this might be the first one. Raven's Gate, Anthony Horowitz. And yeah, that's it, The Power of the Five. There's a whole occult thing there. It's really exciting. But yeah, I'm not revisiting this book. And then we got, I don't know how this ended up in my library. I think I bought it when I was living in Johannesburg, and I just bought it on a thing, but no, it doesn't look like my kind of book. And that is Serafina. I mean, if anyone can tell me about any of these books, you see the page has been kind of wasted away there. But yeah, this looks like more of a YA fantasy, and it's not really my thing. So, go there. And then we got, for anyone who likes R.L. Stine, this was R.L. Stine's attempt to writing an adult horror. And it's awful. Sorry, I really did not enjoy this book. And that's Red Rain. Okay, Suffer the Little Children. Yeah, Suffer the Reader, in my case. So let's go off. And then, this was a series that I read when I was a teenager as well. I think this is the last book in the series. It's Aragon. It's made a movie, a terrible movie. It was actually a pretty good book, Aragon. But then it kind of went downhill after that. Brissinger. Yeah. So let's go. And then we're going to move on to the next ones in a second. Okay, the next section of books is by far the largest section, and these are books that I inherited when we moved into this place. People loved their books, and they left most of them for us. We said, yeah, we love reading, but these are just sitting there, people. I'm hoarding them. I'm not really reading them. And yeah, you might say some of these when I show you, say that's a bloody good author. You should try him or her. But yeah, at this stage, I'm gonna dump them. I hate saying this, but yeah, if I get a recommendation, same book, then I've got a very cheap store that might have something like that. But at this stage, it's not the books that I want to keep. It's not the books that I want to have on my shelves. I want to have space for the books that I want. So yeah, let's get going with this. First of all, we've got Andy McNab, Boy Soldier. Yeah, a lot of these are going to be like thrillers, men's adventures. I'm just not reading those. So yeah. Okay, so it goes. And I've got a couple of horror westerns lined up for for June on the Range next year. So this is not one of them. Tim Maguire, Danger Ridge. Yeah, if you can persuade me to keep any of these books, I might consider it. But that goes in a box. And one of my subscribers told me Tess Gerritsen is a very good author, and I actually kept a couple on the shelves, but trying hard to make space, so whistle blow, getting rid of. Then we've got David Lindsay, A Cold Mind. Right, no idea what these are about. And then we've got Val McDermid, The Torment of Others, Twisted Killer. So yeah, if you've read these books and you think I would really enjoy them, let me know. And then we've got Len Dayton Berlin Game. That sounds like a spy thriller. Yeah. Some of these books have been gathering dust. Okay, and now this is an author I've read from before when I was much younger. I kind of enjoyed it, but I found it a bit dry, the courtroom drama and stuff. I'm not really into that. And this is John Grisham, The Brethren. Yeah. Okay, and don't worry, that's going into a box, not on the floor. And then we've got some James Patterson, people. We've got James Patterson Private. James Patterson Private Games. It's quite a cool cover, that. And then we got James Patterson Alex Cross Run. I think Alex Cross is part of a series. Yeah, I just don't really have an inkling to read this right now. Okay, so then I'm going to bring another one forward here. This is also books that we inherited. Okay, this might be, I think, yeah. I read The Da Vinci Code. I really enjoyed it, by Dan Brown. But I haven't read Dan Brown in a long time, and I just don't plan to. Deception Point. Jeffrey Archer. I've got a whole bunch of Jeffrey Archer there. I actually sorted through them. This one looks like the least appealing, so I'm getting rid of it. In fact, I should get rid of most of them. And that's The Fourth Estate. Yeah. Okay, and then we've got another author I read when I was very young, Alistair MacLean. This book's falling apart as well, and that is Sea Witch. Yeah, Sea Witch. Okay, and then we've got, okay, this I'm not sure about, because David Morrell, I quite like David Morrell. I've got First Blood, I'm not giving that up, and this is Desperate Measures. Yeah. And yeah, Minette Waters' The Shape of Snakes. Nothing about that. This one looks intriguing. Len Dayton, SSGB, Britain Under German Rule. Got four more, this pile, and we got one more pile. Hammond Innes, The Strange Land. Then we got, who's this? John Sanford, Eyes of Prey. Yeah, I don't know where this came from. I'm not sure if it's horror or thriller. You can change my mind, people. You can possibly change my mind. But I want to get rid of books, people. Jack Higgins, A Season in Hell. And then another Jeffrey Archer, A Prisoner of Birth. Right. Going to move on to my third section. No. Okay, so section number 3, final section. And these are books that I've read. Maybe 1 or 2 star books that I really did not enjoy and I don't want on my shelf anymore. And there's also books that I've got duplicates of. So there's some good titles here. And then books that maybe I read as a student. There's 1 book that I taught, or 2 books that I taught. I don't really need to keep them, sorry. And yeah, just books that I'm not going to read for any reason. Again, right. First of all, we got Bram Stoker, The Lair of the White Worm. Terrible book, sorry. Love Dracula. And I was tempted to keep this just because it's Bram Stoker. But I'm not going to be collecting his works, and yeah, I don't really need this book. Bye-bye. Okay, then we got another book that really was underwhelming. I've read this book, it was confusing. Really, did not enjoy it. Inheritance, Owen Brooks. Yeah, kind of some of the covers I enjoy, but it's just not worth it, people. And here's another one. I loved one of Susan Hill's, this is Dolly. Did not enjoy this, 2 stars. There was one that I really enjoyed, The Woman in Black. That was awesome. Not so much Dolly. And then, Chelsea Cain, Heartsick and Sweetheart. I've got both of these books individually. I don't normally like omnibus sort of things. I'll only keep it if there's books that I don't have. And then I got them separately. So there's no point in me keeping this one. Yeah. And then we've got The Silence of the Lambs, Thomas Harris. I've got a much better edition. Don't want duplicates, people. And then, okay, this is one that I'm not sure about. This author, yeah, Whitley Strieber. Not sure if I got a duplicate of this. Not sure if I should keep it. First one is The Wild. I have read it. I gave it 2 or 3 stars. I can't remember. Very kind of forgettable book. And then I got The Day After Tomorrow. And this is a novelization, yeah, of that big movie. Yeah, I'm just not really, I don't really see myself reading this author again. Unless you can convince me otherwise. Okay, so that's gone. Then another one, Darker Than You Think. Don't see myself reading this book. Yeah. And then we got some more. A book that I taught. A quirky little book. Quite interesting. But, yeah. Joanne Harris. Jigs and Reels. The whole collection of short stories. Absolutely middle grade YA. Not going to read it again. Yeah. And then another book that I taught. Alden Carter, Upcountry. And yeah, I don't see a purpose in keeping it. Okay, we got 3 left, and you saw the titles, or maybe not. I've got another omnibus, Anne Rice, Pandora, The Vampire Armand. I've got a lot of Anne Rice. I've got a lot of, the novels that aren't in an omnibus. I know that I've got The Vampire Armand, and yeah, I'm gonna throw this. If I do read Anne Rice, it's going to be Interview with the Vampire. It's going to be The Vampire Chronicles. I'm not sure how much further I'm going to go than that. I have read pretty much all of them. They do go downhill a little bit. So yeah. And then 2 more. First one, this is a duplicate. I've got 1 copy, and that is Coma by Robin Cook. It's a damn good medical thriller, more than a horror. And then we've got finally, and I actually didn't realize, because this was in a recent haul, didn't realize I had this book already. That's what happens when you got over like 800 books. I had Peter Straub Mystery, and I bought Peter Straub Mystery. I might actually have a look at the other copy and see which is a better edition, but yeah, one's going to have to go. Okay everyone, that's my unhaul video for tonight. Making space for new books, people. And I'm excited because I'm choosing books that I know that I'm going to read. And in fact, some of you might have noticed I've done a couple of hauls in the last couple of months. And they were on my TBR. And I've been reading them. I'm excited. And a lot of these books I'm not going to find in bookshops here. We don't have libraries here. So yeah, I think there's a little library, maybe a little kids library, and most of the books will be kids books in various languages, African languages, and nothing that I could ever find. So yeah, I've been buying books and I'm proud of it. I'm happy because these are books that I want to read, and I'm going to be reading them next year and the following year to read and review for all of you. So yeah. And yeah, tell me, out of all of these, are there any that you recognize? Are there any that you've read? Am I being a little bit hasty? Do you think I should give it a chance? Just let me know down in the spaces below. I'd love to have a conversation with all of you. And yeah, until next time, take care of yourselves, keep those pages turning, and cheers.